Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Light Council series, the show where we have elevated conversations to help you embody your true self, the highest life you can, and elevate the world. I'm so excited to have my guest Dani here with me today, and I will ask her to introduce herself in a second. But for those of you that don't know me, I am Elizabeth Planson. I am a soul activator, frequency shifter, and I help others activate their soul gifts, their soul purpose, and help them just become this most fullest expression of themselves, living in their purpose and manifesting the life they truly desire. So, with that being said, I would love to invite Dani online, come on board, introduce yourself. I would love to know who you are, what you do, and how you love to serve the world.
Yeah, thanks so much. I'm so happy to be here and co-creating this space with you. And yeah, I also resonate with like that energy of soul activator and spiritual entrepreneur. And I help people find their deepest fulfillment and inner peace and purpose through the modality of the Akashic Records, specifically and energy work. And I really just am here to bring more love to, myself and the world around me.
Yeah, I love that so much. And yes, totally, we resonate with like the same thing. I know we do it in totally different ways. And I just love that because there's so many ways, right, to do this type of work, to find it. And it's so beautiful to have different modalities and different techniques or skills, right? Because some methods will resonate with others and some will not. And so I know I've had people in the past who do Akashic records, but I would love to hear in your words, like, what are the Akashic records and like, what does that mean?
Yes. Okay. So anyone who hasn't heard the Akashic Records, they are the records of all souls that ever existed, past, present, future. It is the soul template that is placed in your blueprint, in your field that you are meant to live out of in this lifetime. So all the lessons, the experiences, the relationships, connections, and all those things that you are unraveling through your lifetime, your Akashic Records holds this blueprint for yourself. And so accessing the Akashic Records is accessing frequency, right? It's accessing the your cosmic soul language. It's your intuition. And so it is a specific space beyond the astral plane, in the spiritual plane, that connects to the fabric of all existence and all the cosmic wisdom. And there are, if you believe in reincarnation, right, past lives, but also what it shows me is that a lot of us here are keepers of the records. And we came here on earth to help anchor that frequency here so more people can connect to it and learn from it and expand within it. And so there's many of us here who access the Akashic records that are meant to bring through this frequency so that this frequency is available for more people here on earth.
I love that so much. And I've had Akashic Records readings, multiple of them, right? And they're different every time. And so it really is kind of like almost like astrology, right? Where it's up to interpretation of the person who is accessing them, I think, right? Like, because everyone gives you maybe different information or what's available or not available. So I would love to know, like, what type of information, obviously you talk about like soul purpose and blueprint, but like what type of information can someone actually expect to get from a Akashic records reading, or maybe just so much with you, like when you're leading with someone through it, like what kind of information comes through on a typical basis?
Yeah, everything, anything you could think of. No, but really, so every person that reads the records, right, you have a specific blueprint and the way in which you lived your life and your thread of karma and like your experiences in not only this life and last time, you have a specific perspective, right, that you are offering the soul that's coming to your reading and the person who is, attracted to your energy. And so there's definitely a frequency in which is like transmitted when you're in that energy and just giving the reading. So the reading, of course, there's going to be beautiful information that comes through from, answers that you're giving, and we'll go into that. But there's also this like frequency resonance that's like downloaded into the client from their highest good, from God consciousness. And so a typical reading for me looks like connecting to your higher self. And just I first off ask, like, is there anything that the client needs to know? Where should they focus their energy right now? Like, what do I need to know in order to like serve them, to be this like container for, or this vessel for the cosmic wisdom that's meant to come through? So oftentimes, a lot of past lives to clear any trauma or really help them understand like any karmic loops that they're playing out right now, any soul contracts. I connect them to their galactic guides. So I don't connect just to the Akashic records from Earth, but I go to the galactic point right under God consciousness. And so I connect to not only earthly records, but galactic records. So if anyone has a past life like on Lyra or Orion or Sirius, there can be some information there, as well as soul family and other guides that want to come through to help support them, anchoring in their new soul technology, their gifts, their energy work. Because, right now we're in the 3 and 4D. And we're
Mhm.
moving into right that 5D. And so with that, we are learning new energy, new techniques, new ways of telepathy, psychic, intuitive gifts in order to bring through new and innovative energies and healing and information and perspective. And so accessing the Akashic records helps remind you who you are, why you reincarnated here, and what actual gifts you can bring through, even if they don't currently exist here on Earth.
That's, I mean, that sounds wonderful, right? Like to be able to know this information. I'm like, oh my gosh, like I want a reading again, even though I've had some, because I'm gonna be honest, I've had some readings that were very like abstract, right? There was nothing specific. So it was like, okay, that's beautiful, right? And it's all lovely, but also like that doesn't really, my human, right, wants to know like, what are my next steps? Like, what is it that I'm supposed to do next to be able to get to whatever you see for me in the very far future, right? Like, we don't, like, time is kind of irrelevant sometimes, right? So, like, do you give people specific steps, like, go do this next? Or is it more of like, if you continue on this path, like, this is the likely outcome?
Yeah, mine are very specific. So, like March, you should do this. April, you should do this. May, you should do this, especially for my year ahead readings.
Yeah.
And so it's very much like this is the timeline I see for you, and this is like who you are, what you think, the actions that you're taking. And if that's the timeline you want, that's the path you would be taking, right? And so I'll give you an example. I just read for someone earlier this morning, and she was like, I want to move to London, but I don't know like what I need to do to like make that shift, right? And
Mm-hmm.
so for her, it was like, I was like, are you like gonna write a book? Like it feels like there's a book in your like near future. And she's like, literally this morning, I wrote down like I need to start writing at least my first chapter. And so it's
Mm-hmm.
this like we often think we're like going like for her, she wants to go to London to like be this new person and have this new life, but she needs to anchor in her energy and who she is here. That's important for her journey before she moves, right? And not
Mm-hmm.
escape to this like, new place to be this new identity. And so there's this like importance of like anchoring what like her path and purpose in this moment before she actually takes off. So I was like, you need to begin writing that book. And then I told her like in 1 to 3 months, you're going to have an opportunity that goes there. And oftentimes, my year ahead readings, my future like predictions are like pretty accurate because usually like I think the clients who come are very devoted, I think, to their craft and like really want to be a part of their co-creation with the universe. And so there absolutely are like specific gifts, like stop doing yoga, like or like keep doing yoga, or like, depending whatever their health journey is. Like there are
Right.
absolutely can be specific things. For me personally, I my whole business, like all the copy is channeled from the Akashic records, all every container, every course. And so yeah, there's like specific, very grounded concepts that can like definitely take hold from there.
Well, that's definitely helpful and sounds really beautiful, right? To be able to have that, because I think sometimes it's like our human just needs that to feel regulated, right? And to have that little bit of a guidance. And if it's there, it's available to us, right? And sometimes the client can't tap into it 100%. Like how beautiful is that for you to be able to help people with that? And so my other wondering is like, can people access their Akashic records themselves? Like, do they have to have a reading in order for that to happen? I mean, obviously you've been trained, and I know you have an academy for training people as well. But like, if someone didn't go through training, is it possible for them to access their records.
Absolutely. Every single person on earth has the ability to access the records, and it's really your choice. And you don't need anything. Like your intention to connect and trusting yourself and what you feel, sense, hear, know, or see. Those two key pieces are key to really exploring and connecting to that part of you. If you need a little support, there's so many meditations online that can help support you. And I have one that I can send you as well to help anchoring in that frequency and accessing to guide you through that journey. And once you're in, it's really about trusting your guides, your spirit guides, your higher self, your ascended masters, teachers, loved ones, higher vibrational beings to guide you in what you're meant to see, experience, and learn.
Wow, that's powerful. And yes, please send that to me so we can share it because I think that's so powerful, right? To be able, it's really for me, and I'm sure the same way is like we want to empower those people we work with to be able to kind of do these things that we're helping teach them, guide them through on their own so that yes, they don't always need us. And some people just love it, right? It's fun, it's enjoyable, and they like connecting and having someone do that for them that's amazing too, right? But also it's like could be both and let's empower you to be able to do this on your own, and then if you feel like it because you want to, and or if you're just for some reason your intuition is being clouded by something, I'm sure that's another thing. You go in the Akashic records, you see that like these are ways to help kind of like get rid of that cloudiness too. So yeah, that's so great.
Yeah, and another thing, like for me, like this can feel very abstract, the Akashic Records, right? It's a frequency, it's an energy, I have to tune into my intuition. But ultimately, for me, it's just to help me find more peace in my life. So when I'm
Mm-hmm.
triggered by a friendship, I go up and I'm like, what's the lesson here? Why am I being triggered? And how can I, heal that or move through that with more peace and flow? If there's something like I'm trying to create like a container or a course and it's like not working how I want it to, like what do I need to know? Am I in alignment? Am I like not in alignment? And how can I just move through life easier? So it just helps me bring more harmony, in my life and in my heart.
So that brings up a point that I want to ask you about, like, learning the lessons. Do you get clients where they've been through the ringer and they've had like childhood trauma and all the things, and they're like so angry and they, say, I didn't want this, I didn't choose this, like, why did this happen to me? Are you able to go in the Akashic records and help give them a little piece of like what the lesson was there? And like they come on the other side being like, wow, like this really helped me kind of clear this trauma out.
You know what's interesting? I haven't received like that victim energy person or client
Mm,
in a while, and I don't know if it's just the information I put out there or the
yeah.
people who I attract, like they've already taken personal responsibility of how they're feeling and the work they've done, but it's like a perspective shift, right? It's a 3D victim energy and then moving
Yeah.
into that high soul level perspective, right? And so absolutely there's ways to help anchor that. And I do think the Akashic Records is good to see the contract, but I think somatic resourcing, internal family systems or some kind of somatic work with regulating the nervous system might be more helpful for them to kind of just bring and anchor more compassion for themselves to feel the anger. So it's like utilizing all the gifts, right? Or all the modalities to help support, a single person. So I know for you, you have like a range of all these tools. So you're like a one-stop shop, which I feel like I am as well to help
Yeah.
support, in whatever level they are at, right? The client, like you're able to get guidance from the Akashic Records and know how to support them for their highest good from their higher self, but then also giving them these beautiful, maybe nervous system regulation techniques to help, anchor in that compassion, acceptance, love, and to be able to move through it with forgiveness.
Yeah, I love that so much because it really is addressing like what the answer you gave is addressing the mind, body, and soul, right? Like it's not just the soul, it's not just the mind, it's also your body too, because we have to clear that out and regulate it too, right? At the same time, for us to be able to move forward fully. So I think that that's such a great insight on that. I would love to know, like, how did you get into this? Like, when did you find Akashic Records? What was like, can you tell us a little bit your story about that?
Yeah, so I wasn't raised, I was raised in a family that was Catholic. So it was very much like also a child of immigrants. So not really sharing your emotions, kind of like very driven by like goals or money or like fulfillment at the end of this like, goal. And so from a very early age, I would like look up at the stars and I would just like know that there's something else out there, this like higher perspective, this bigger knowing. And I kind of led my life from that way, from that higher perspective. And so from a young age, I had that inner knowing, that gut response, which now I know is claircognizance, but at the time it was just that inner critic, right? And so when she would tell me things and I wouldn't do it, like things would be really hard for me. And so I trained myself, luckily, from a young age that when I listened to that voice, which is my inner knowing, I
Mm-hmm.
was able to flourish and be at peace. And so I, graduated from college and I got a job for 10 years, but I still felt like something was missing. I traveled to 20 countries before the age of 30. I bought a condo at 27. I had beautiful friends and a boyfriend, but there was still that like something was missing, that missing piece. And so I was in a car accident that led me to dependence on a chiropractor. And so I had like three different chiropractors that I would wake up and call to see if they were available if I woke up with like this chronic back pain. I was also playing basketball and backpacking. So it was a very like hard time because if you're sick, like you're not thinking of the future, you just want to heal. You just want to
Mm-hmm.
feel better. And so I got led to a chiropractor that did energy work. And that
Mm-hmm.
is kind of what opened my eyes to this other world. And it wasn't just that one path. At that time, the pandemic happened. My ex-boyfriend moved me to the beach where I became friends with my neighbor who also was like, you should go to this medium. And she, at the same time, was like, you have power in your hands. You should go do Reiki. So simultaneously, right? I have this chiropractor who's like moving energy. And then I have this psychic who's like, you should connect with energy, Reiki. And so I really followed that. And it brought me to Reiki, which then brought me, the breadcrumbs brought me to the Akashic Records. I heard that in a podcast. And it was like a full body, yes, that full body, like, whoa. I know what this is. I don't know what it means consciously here, but my subconscious has the connection to it. And so that week I got a reading. She was like, oh, yeah, you need to open your own records. That next month I had a teacher who was teaching me. And so it's kind of history from there, just following the breadcrumbs.
Oh, I mean, it's like I think that's why we resonate so much, right? Because my story is the same way of the breadcrumbs. Those of have been listening and following along, like know that I've been on the breadcrumb journey of like evolvement of my purpose and how I serve others. And I think that's so beautiful too, just to even to point out it once again that like it's not always the end all be all what you're doing right now. It can evolve and change and you can shift and that's okay. And eventually you'll have all these tools and you can decipher when to use them and when to not. And so, yes, and you do energy work as well with like others. And so I think it's like you're saying, you're so multifaceted and have these tools in your toolbox to be able to help people in such a bigger capacity.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think like what you were saying about like your purpose shifts, and that's actually really important because we reincarnated because our soul just wants to evolve and know itself more. So from like a
Mm-hmm.
soul level, all these like minuscule desires and curiosities and like human emotions, like these are all really beautiful. Your soul just wants to know them. And so it makes sense that like according to your, spiritual awakening or personal development journey, that your purpose does shift. Like a couple years ago, it was like just Reiki, which is beautiful and that's so great. And now I'm teaching the Akashic Records. And, in a year, it might be completely different. And so just being able to be in that like acceptance that whatever you're feeling called to and being curiosity to, like, that's okay because like you are expanding and it's like, it's a good thing.
Yeah, that's so awesome. So talk to me a little bit about your Akashic Records school and your academy and like how you do that for others.
Yeah, so I believe the root cause to any frequency, whether it's mediumship, psychic, Akashic records, is understanding your specific cosmic soul language. And so I help you explore what yours is through the Akashic records. So for me personally, I am very strong with my clairvoyance and my clairaudience. So I will see an image, but it's just like very granular. It's like very blurry. Like it's not crystal clear like I know some people's are. But for me, my claircognizance comes in. It's like I know what that means. I know why that image is being shown. I know why that person is standing there. I know the meaning of it. And so for me, it's helping these clients who maybe they only feel and they don't see, and
Mm-hmm.
helping them explore that and learning to trust what they see or feel or hear as truth and helping them expand. Because what happens often is we get like a little download. So maybe we get like an image of something or someone or a symbol. And then we get that and we're like, okay, cool, I saw that. But then the purpose is to expand and create like a story around it, especially if you're wanting to read other people, right? People want to know, the expansiveness of what you're able to offer them, that cosmic wisdom. And so from that thread, well, why are they showing it to you? Why is it important? Why is it significant? And how does it relate to the client's life right now? And so from there, they're able to like thread together several pieces of information to create like a whole story. And so I teach by helping my students practice and expand their cosmic soul language in order to read themselves and read clients.
Oh, that's so beautiful. I love that. So, if you had like one piece of wisdom, piece of advice for the collective, I would love for you just to see what comes through and, offer that now.
Yeah, thanks. So one thing that I have found really helpful with myself and my clients is like if something hard or like quote unquote bad happens to you, like let's say a breakup, and for me, I just sold my condo, and so that was like a big thing where it's like I know it's for my highest good, but like it's still hard. Even if it's hard, that's okay because you trust yourself. And so, like any experience that you're having, if you are really kind of stuck in it and you're like angry or sad, or you're kind of just in it, you don't really know up or down, kind of just begin to reflect on like what is the lesson that I'm learning from this experience. And it could be
Mm.
also really, you can even take this like you had such a good time at this like camping trip. Like, what was the lesson of here? To experience joy, to experience love, right? So just like understanding what the lesson is will shift your perspective from the 3D to the 5D like instantaneously. And beginning to reflect upon the lesson and, maybe smaller moments, bigger moments will help shift your perspective by reprogramming your subconscious into that, high level soul perspective way.
Yeah, I think that's so important. And I think it's important to point out too that like you may not know what the lesson is right away, but like if you can't figure out like in the moment, what is this trying to teach me? Like what is the lesson? Just having that trust and knowing that whatever you're experiencing right now is for your highest good. And it may reveal itself in the coming days, weeks, years, right? Or even when we transition on and kind of go into our reflection mode. So like it's really just having to come back to that trusting and knowing that we are going through these things for a reason, that we decided to go through these experiences, right? And also, our human may have chosen a path, right? That's different, but it's almost like we got you. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I got me. You know what I'm saying? I got my own back. Like, your higher self knows how to take care of you. And it really is preparing you for something, even if you don't know what it is. So I think that's so beautiful. And even it could be such a small little thing. Like this past weekend, I went out with my girlfriends for one of my girlfriend's birthday in the city, which is like an hour drive easy for me. It was like 6 degrees out, and I'm like, oh my, I'm such a homebody. I'm an introvert, right? And I'm not drinking alcohol right now. And also, like, I'm on a reset, so I'm not having any sugar either. So I don't know if you like mocktails are full of sugar, right? So it's like, oh my God, like, I'm just gonna go to this place and drink water because I don't like club soda. And I'm like, oh, like hemming and hawing about it. And I was like, hold on a second. The whole reason I'm going is to celebrate my best friend and be with my friends and enjoy their company and enjoy like just the conversation and being there in presence. Like, why do I need to like worry about these outside things that really don't matter, right? Like they're so minuscule, right? Like it's just to me was apparent like how much I've been ingrained from growing up. Like we need these things to help like stimulate us, right? Like we're overstimulated. We need these other things to like make it enjoyable. And it was like totally fine. I ended up did I ended up having a mocktail and I asked them with no sugar. Although I still think there was some sugar in it because the next day I had a headache. But still, like, you know what I mean? Like it was totally fine. I had the best time. I was like that, but for me, that little thing was such an important lesson, right? And it's huge. So it's really, like you said, paying attention to even those little moments as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's like you shifted your perspective on those like minuscule things you're trying to control and kind of like surrendered. Like, I know like what's my intention, right? And it's like being led by the heart. And you just showed like this such beautiful example on that is like really ultimately being heart led and intentional will like expand every experience and make you have, maybe more deep conversations or more ingrained because you're not focusing on like the little annoyances that you have. And yeah, I just thought that was such a beautiful perspective that you shared.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you so much. So, I would love to know how do you work with people, or how can people work with you, and where can they find you and connect with you at?
Yeah, so I have a website, www.iamdanimargot.com. I'm also on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube at I am Dani Margeaux. And currently, my Divine Remembering Akashic container is starting, I think, in like March 2nd. And it's a group container where you get to practice. I also have a one-on-one version, Divine Deepening, that, it's really, you want to do the inner work and you've learned how to do explore your intuition and there's like more things you want to explore before moving forward and whether it's starting a business, getting a promotion, starting a family, whatever that looks like. And I also do coaching and so it's one-on-one, 6 months, and it's really about understanding your own energy and your own frequency. I know a lot of people talk about like, oh, I'm really sensitive, so I can't go into big groups. And it's not actually that you're sensitive, you just don't know your own energy, you don't know your own frequency. And so through this program, through this container, we do internal family systems, we do Akashic healings, we do past life healings, we do violet flame, we do like all the things in order for you to anchor in, that self-acceptance, that self-worth, to really be a way shower and a light worker in this world, to feel okay to take up space and feel okay to be seen, and really not being scared to be persecuted for all your beliefs, all the things of the side effects of the light worker. And so yeah, just here to share more love and more acceptance.
Beautiful. And then you do readings too, right? Like one-off
Oh
readings.
yes. Yeah, so I do, if you want to check me out, I do readings as well, and as well as like healings. I'm in Redondo Beach, so I am doing energy healings in Redondo Beach in person as well, which is a cool new thing since I just moved here.
Oh, amazing. There's something to be said about in-person work, right? Like when you're able to actually, be in that same facility. I know I learned all of my modalities, or kind of like got into this during COVID. So I started off just online as well. I'm recently branched off in person as well. So I mean, obviously I love both, and because we can connect with someone across the country, across the world. But that's so beautiful. And I will definitely I know we're connected on social media, but we'll have to connect on TikTok too. But amazing. I will share all of Dani's links below, of course, so you can find her, reach out to her for a session. Thank you so much for being here and your insight today. So appreciate this and loved our conversation. So thank you again for being here.
Thank you so much, Elizabeth. It's been an honor.
Yes. All right. Thank you. And we will see you next time on the Light Council series. Take care, everyone.